What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we are here to talk about Need for Speed 2017 and a few new pieces of information. So I want to say a huge thanks to my boy Harry. He actually translated a lot of Kazuki's stream, who is a fellow YouTuber, and he kind of translated a lot of things for me, so shout out to him. Links will be down in the description to his Twitter and all other sources used for this video. This is a bit of a hard video to title because there's a lot of stuff we're going to be covering. You know, we're going to be talking about betas, we're going to be talking about, you know, the handling model, we're going to be talking about a lot of things, so just stay strapped. I'm going to try explain this the best I can. Number one, the physics. We're going to talk about the tuning first. So in this game, the tuning sliders are coming back, and in this game you will be able to tune on the fly. This was confirmed by, I think it was called a Game Reactor post. Again, all the sources will be in the description anyway. But essentially you can now tune on the fly, similar to Forza. You can go into the pause menu and you can mess around with the sliders in game. Now for me, this is really important. It was a bit of a hassle to go back to the garage and, you know, go into the garage, set up the tune, and go back into the open world, then go back into the garage. It was just a bit long, really. So to see that we can do that now in Need for Speed 2017, or Need for Speed Payback I need to call it, it's pretty cool. This also means that, you know, since we've got drifting and grip sliders, I reckon what we saw in the E3 gameplay was drift gameplay. I'm assuming that, you know, with the return of the sliders, they're going to be fixed. I'll be extremely surprised if they weren't fixed. So expect to be able to use the grip sliders without understeering into a tree, is my guess.
Need for Speed Payback.
Now, as I said, the gameplay did look very drift bias focused, and according to Kazuki, who I talked about earlier on, the drift and handling was reminiscent of Hop Shoot 2010 in that build. Now, like I said, I don't think that's how it's gonna be for everything. I think that was just for that build, just for that tune, because it was a bit easier for everyone at E3 to use that build. I'm assuming that's what it was, and that has, you know, reminiscence of, you know, the previous Criterion handling model. In addition to this, in terms of gameplay changes, the nitrous is a lot stronger in this game. You might have seen this in gameplay. It looks a lot stronger with the camera moving, but as well as that, it actually does feel like it's a bit more of a burst, not just like a long continuous, you know, just drain of NOS. In terms of traffic, there's going to be a lot more traffic in this game, both at night and daytime. You might have seen this in the trailers and in the gameplays and stuff. The world's a lot more filled up with, you know, traffic cars, so it's going to be more about weaving in and out of traffic, you know, all that kind of thing that we saw in old Midnight Club games and old Need for Speed games is going to be coming back. If you played Need for Speed 2015, you'll know that that game was like, it wasn't barren, I want to say, but it was pretty barren. There was no one in that city besides you and your friends. The traffic was nearly non-existent. So to see that there's actually going to be some traffic in the game would be pretty cool, and it would also be pretty cool if we could change it from, you know, like low traffic to medium traffic to high traffic. That would be something which would be really, really cool. You also may have seen the house AI in the beta. I assume that would be the same as the police AI, because, you know, their whole job is to take you down, and it looked much improved. Kazuki once again said that the police AI fight in numbers and is very challenging, and as well as that, the house AI is like Most Wanted 2005 police AI, but more aggressive whilst having less cars. So, you know, seeing a return to Most Wanted 2005 police is extremely just good to see. That makes me very, very excited for the pursuit mode, if that's how it's going to be, because as we've seen from the trailers, the police come out in swarms, like there's so many of them. So that's going to be real interesting to see how that plays out when we manage to get our hands on the game. As you would expect, the cutscenes and all of the heist missions are between, you know, the main gameplay and the racing and stuff. So those are kind of like the job missions from Undercover, if you remember that. If you played Undercover, you'll know what I mean. It's like landmark missions. So you're not going to be doing a heist every other mission. This is something which is few and far between, and it's something which is like a landmark event in the story mode. As well as that, we also learned that obviously that we've got 3 characters in this game. We've got Mac, who is the showman, the drifter, Tyler, who is the racer, and Jess, who is the outlaw person. And we found out in one of the interviews that Jess is actually going to have VIP missions. So this means, you know, collecting a package and getting it to a specific place. It could mean picking up a car and making sure it, you know, isn't under a certain damage marker or something across those lines, like similar to Undercover. So essentially we're gonna have a lot more varied, you know, modes in the game, especially for the story mode, so that's interesting to see. And the off-roading, my biggest worry for the game, it's, you know, my biggest worry has been solved basically. So if you go off-road, you are going to slow down, similar to Undercover, similar to Most Wanted, you know, similar to all the other old Need for Speed games. If you go off-road, you're not going to carry on going at 150 miles per hour like you would in Forza Horizon. It's going to slow you down, which is good, unless obviously you're in an off-road car, but that's a completely different kettle of fish. If you are in that Mustang that we saw in the E3 trailer, you're going to slow down, and that completely just eliminates some of my biggest issues with the off-roading. I had issues. I thought that, you know, the off-roading was going to be OP. You would have just been able to just drive off it and keep going at 150, but that's not the case, and honestly that was my biggest worry, just taking off the game, to be honest. As well as this, we're still going to be getting updates similar to Need for Speed 2015. Whether these are paid or free, we don't know. I'm assuming they'd probably be a mix of both, and you know, that's going to be updated on the website through Under the Hood articles, as we already kind of expected. And according to Kazuki, there's also not going to be any public beta. So there wasn't a public beta in the last one. I believe that was closed, so it's possible we can still see a closed beta, but there's not going to be a public beta coming for Need for Speed Payback. Again, everything I said is subject to change, and also, you know, take it with a pinch of salt. These are translations, so you know, things here and there could be slightly worded in a different way, but the basic premise is, you know, very, very true. It's exciting times. Everything I told you today is stuff that I wanted to see. Major gameplay changes, I think, is the best way of explaining it. And it's gameplay changes that I wanted to see. Again, you know, a lot of people are worried about the physics. A lot of people are moaning about the physics. I would not worry about the physics, you know, at all. You know, usually in these E3 trailers, it's very cinematic for a reason. You know, they want to entice not just you, the hardcore audience, but they want to entice the millions of people watching around the world. I honestly wouldn't worry about the physics. It looks like they've completely been fixed. In my opinion, the physics weren't a problem in the last game. What was a problem was how they didn't really work, how they were supposed to work. You know, when you get dragged to the side, when cars would plummet to the ground like it was a missile. Those were the types of things I had issues with, and it seems like all those things have been fixed. From everything that we've been told, it sounds like you can actually play Need for Speed competitively, and I have 100% confidence that the netcode's been fixed, because just by the looks of things, you can't have all this stuff without the netcode being fixed. It just doesn't work. So I would assume, like, I'm willing to put money on the fact the netcode's been fixed, and you're not going to be glitching into other people's cars 24/7. I want to make a separate video on the customization that we've seen at E3. You know, there's so many things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the NOS color, the tires, the fact we can, you know, paint stock rims, all the different wide bodies that we've featured in the game, and I'm probably going to bring that video in the next coming days. So if you are interested in the customization for Need for Speed 2017, or Need for Speed Payback, as I should say, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe, and peace.